The first time I actually remember seeing Karen Valentine was on Friday nights. At least that's how I remember it. She was on a couple of different ABC television shows. Neither of them were actually approved viewing in my home. The old man wasn't a big fan of any of the shows that came on after the Brady Bunch. But sometimes, when he wasn't paying attention, my sister Valerie and I could actually sneak in an episode or two. The shows that I'm talking about, the shows where I first noticed that pretty and very funny Karen Valentine were Love American Style, Here Ms. Valentine is with everyone's favorite monkey Davy Jones, and Room 222. This was the show that seemed to get my dad riled up the most. He didn't appreciate that the show tried to be very topical and cover many of the controversial issues of the day. More often than not, the channel would get changed, and Karen, just like that, would disappear from the family's TV screen. In Room 222, Karen played student teacher Alice Johnson. The show ran from 1969 to 1974 and earned Karen an Emmy Award for her work on the show. Between this show and her prior work in Love American Style, Karen was well on her way to becoming a household name. And when the show was canceled after 4 seasons, Karen was given her own starring vehicle the following year. This was the first time that Karen wasn't part of an ensemble cast, and clearly the weight of carrying a show on her own was tremendous. I only have vague memories of this show. It ran for 13 episodes in all, and then it was gone. It was memorable only because it was so short-lived, because expectations were so high. Karen did not, however, let the failure of that show keep her down. Fortunately, Karen had a very quick wit and found herself as a semi-regular on Hollywood Squares. She and Middle Square, the always wonderful Paul Lind, really seemed to enjoy working together, trading barbs as well as finishing each other's quips. They had true chemistry, and the show was always fun to watch when the two of them were on. And in 1976, Karen was in the very first Love Boat TV movie. This was not the iconic Love Boat that we all came to know and love. There was a completely different crew in that first movie, but it was still a lot of fun to watch. And over the years, Karen would return to the Pacific Princess multiple times. This image, of course, is taken from a later episode with a couple of the cast members that we grew to know and love. Karen also found work on another Aaron Spelling vehicle, Fantasy Island. Even before it became a series, Karen starred in the first 2 TV movies as the same character, Janet Fleming. Between Love Boat and Fantasy Island, it felt like I was seeing Karen maybe multiple times a year. With some actors, this may have felt like too much, but not so with Karen. She had a way of connecting with her audience, with me. It never felt like she was phoning in a performance, even when the role was episodic television from the House of Spelling. Over the years, Karen did a bunch of TV movies, but one of my favorites was Go West Young Girl, where she co-starred with Sandra Will and Stuart Whitman. This movie really felt like it might have been a pilot for a TV series. In it, Karen plays a female New England reporter who travels out west and finds herself teamed up with the widow of a cavalry officer as they hunt for the legendary Billy the Kid. Karen must have really enjoyed being in a Western, because her next feature film was the Disney semi-classic Hot Lead and Cold Feet. I say semi-classic because the late 70s weren't the best of times for Walt's movie studio. This movie felt like it really wanted to be the Apple Dumpling Gang, cute kids, pretty lady, and of course Don Knotts. You've got to have Don Knotts. After Hot Lead and Cold Feet, Karen signed with Disney to make another feature film. This one was titled The North Avenue Irregulars. I remember seeing this movie at the Queen Theater in Bountiful, Utah. I really wanted to like it, and I know this movie has its fans. Unfortunately, even way back then, I'm kinda meh on this one. After that, Karen rightfully returned to the smaller screen, where she has appeared in far too many TV shows to call out. I'll try anyway. Memorable performances that stand out to me were in shows like Mike Hammer, The Twilight Zone, the new version from the 80s, and Murder, She Wrote. Yes, Murder, She Wrote. While my father detested Room 222, he couldn't get enough of Jessica Fletcher, and as such I remember Karen's 1988 appearance on that show very well. More recently, Karen has appeared with the always wonderful and very funny John LaRoquette in a Hallmark Channel TV movie titled Wedding Days. In this 2004 film, she and La Roquette star as empty nesters whose 3 daughters all announce that they're getting married. Of course, in true Hallmark fashion, we get some good laughs along with a few tears in a movie that is somewhat reminiscent of the Father of the Bride movies with Steve Martin. Here's a more recent picture of Karen making an appearance at a nostalgia convention. Much like the Comic-Cons, these events are a great place to visit with many of the stars from yesteryear, and if you're willing to pony up a little bit of cash, even snag an autograph or two. Okay, that's it. Here's a pic from that first Love Boat TV movie. Recognize any of the crew? Nope, me neither. However, I do recognize Barney Miller, Carol Brady, and Alice Johnson. Alright, now it's your turn. Please share your memories in the comments section, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And while you're at it, why not consider subscribing to my channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.